Hi, this is the censored version for YouTube of the video End and Beginning Predicted because the original version was eliminated by YouTube for speaking the truth. In the description, I will put the link of the complete version on my secondary channel on Odyssey, where you can go watch it without censorship. Now, the censored version. Hello. This is World Order 2020-2022 Predicted. Welcome, this is a summary of the main predictions fulfilled worldwide until 2022. When using regular astrology, I anticipated that in 2020 would be activated. So, like before, we will see on one side the prediction I made and on the other the event fulfilled in the news. First, I say that in 2020 and into 2021 there were going to be world restrictions and control events, and we had world restrictions and control. I say that there were going to be great moments of fortune and power, and the news admitted that with the restrictions the most powerful people made the greatest fortunes. I say that the would be activated with, and in my country they admitted that they work as well as in many other countries that also all aligned themselves with the UN. I say that the narrative of 1918 with the war's end would be reactivated, and all the news compared of that year. Even the president of the North compared it to the end of the war. I say that the situation of the crisis before 2010 would return, and the crisis returned with the comparison of that year and many of the same characters of that moment. I remember that when everything began to be fulfilled, some told me that I never predicted a. What I said is that a was going to be revealed like in 2001, and doctors and professionals emerged from all over the world to denounce the global just like in 2001. But what I said is that there was going to be activated the narrative of an invisible evil or enemy. An invisible enemy is the name that they gave to the coronavirus. But anyway, here is a picture I showed of a corona a year before, and well, corona was said everywhere in 2020. It is not the same, but well, everything else is right there. And if we see it in detail, we can actually see that it is a big circle with a solar crown or corona, which is the reason of the name of the coronavirus. And again, in the picture I showed, you can even see a little crown, literally a crown, coming out from the top, exactly like in all the pictures of 2020. Why? I even say that there was going to be a repetition like in 2001 regarding the people attacking the government and the presidents escaping. And I said that there was going to be a synchronization between North America and Argentina, and both presidents were attacked and they have to flee. Exactly the same picture by picture. I say gene technology was coming and gene therapy came along. I say virtual identity would be activated worldwide and they wanted to impose that with the. I said virtual democracy and we even had totally virtual government sessions. I say against individual freedoms would be fully activated, and that was the case. Even in my country, the government admitted that the only agenda is. I said an absolute reset in the Great Conjunction was coming, and they announced a great reset. I say that the manipulation of biological technology and the microchip was coming, and many people reported receiving nanochips. Even the head of the great. I say there would be major political assassination, and there were plenty, from the Iranian general to the president of Tanzania who did not subscribe. I said an economic crisis was going to be used to try to impose virtual currency, and exactly that happened. I say that all the censorship mechanism and even the anti-protest laws would be activated, and that is how it was. In my city, you already know that they did not let the doctors for the truth speak. I said will be reactivated pictures of the Great Depression, and we have that. I even say that the fight against that was starting to gain traction in 2019 was going to explode in 2020. And it did. Even in February 2020, a month before the emergency was declared, I say that in March the machine of war and death would be activated, and in March the deaths began and war was declared, literally invoking acts of war and the army. In fact, from mid-February to the end of March was when I said all this was activating, and that was the period that all the governments aligned. Before everything started, I said this was going to be one of the most important predictions, and days later, the great change came true. Even in the middle of 2020, I said that in 2021, they were going to change the script. And I even showed that the next narrative was going to be the reactivation of the climate apocalypse. And there were hidden cameras of news people who admitted the next propaganda would be climate change. I say 2021 was going to be a mirror, and in 2021 they announced the second wave and the double mask. And the second historical second impeachment. Now you see the ridiculous it is. It had to happen, so it matched what I said. And I said everything was going to end by the end of 2022. And here we are with everything almost finished. The UN itself says the theater is coming to an end. De alivio que todos están esperando va a ser cuando Júpiter ya cruce todo Acuario después en 2021 y hacia 2022. At the peak of the fight against I actually made a video announcing the end of that. And then all the governments started removing the passport at the same time. Not only that, they synchronized this end with something else. I actually have an unpublished video projecting that everything ends with and they began to say it all at the same time. And at that time, many were waiting. They were going to stretch it even to Omega. And if they wanted, they could have continued. But it wasn't like that. They cannot do whatever they want. There is obviously a superior force that is making them do things in a synchronized manner worldwide. It's too much of a coincidence to be just a coincidence. I had that video private because it was a personal projection, not just a prediction, and I wanted to reveal it once it happened to show that many times you don't even have to post something for it to happen. You just have to picture it. It was an experiment, and everything synced up with what I pictured. Now, you can question. Maybe you can do the same. And maybe we can do this in masses. I am not going to even try to explain how and why this is possible, but don't even try to suggest that this is a coincidence. The people that see me since the beginning know that when I show you something like this, coincidence is not a possibility. Well, that is all for now. I wanted to make this one for a long time, but now the cycle completed, so it's the perfect moment. For those who see me from the beginning, you already know how it works, but if you are new and want to understand how I did it, you can see the original videos. Bye bye!